time for another episode of Dumb Pitches. My guest this time is from Bring Your Own Tools, Brent Gentling, YouTube sensation, and he shares with us taking on a project he's never done before while his wife is 8.5 months pregnant. I can't wait for you to find out what actually happens. Special shout out to our sponsor this week, Hollingsworth Hemp Company. Here we are in the Third Wheel Podcast Studio in Seattle. Let's get it going. Dumb pitches.
What a bunch of dumb pitches. Oh my goodness.
Welcome to another week of Dumb Pitches with Monica Nevi. I'm so excited for today's guest. First, a shout out to our small business sponsor this week. It is Hollingsworth Hemp Company. They are a family-owned and operated marijuana and hemp farm, and now they're doing these topicals that are fantastic. I use CBD every day, and these, first of all, they smell good. They don't smell like grass, which is great, but this is a hand and foot cream if you guys need that for your heels. They also do soaps and salves and lotions. And when I say family owned and operated, I mean it. Auntie Jackie has the recipe for the topicals. Her niece Joy helps her put them together. It's all approved by Grandma Dorothy. It's a wonderful, wonderful company. So Hollingsworth Hemp Company, check them out. We'll link it in the description when we're ready to go. Okay, I'm very excited for my guest today. Also a Seattleite and YouTube sensation, Brent Gentling. Hey.
Hey, Monica. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for being here. If people don't know, Brent has a YouTube channel called Bring Your Own Tools, and it is construction DIY videos with like amazing projects. I know, like, if we think DIY, sometimes I'm like, oh, it's like a craft project or something. But these are like if you were watching like HGTV and those shows where they like flip houses, it's like those types of, you know, the barn doors and the outdoor, like the deck. It's just incredible, the different types of stuff. Yeah.
The loft net you're talking about.
Yeah, definitely. You've also, so 20 years in construction, separate from that, obviously, so you know what you're doing. And then, I mean, you got it there on your sweet, sweet shirt. It's, you have 100,000 subscribers to your channel, so it's not like I just found videos and I was like, oh, I like this video. Other people agree. You have some good ideas, some incredible projects. So you're successful. We like when people come on, we like to give them credit before we're like, what are your worst ideas? You know, make you feel good first.
Yeah, no, I'm extremely honored for and grateful for the opportunity that I've had in my life, as well as had this amazing community rally around the channel. It's been an amazing journey. I started back in 2016, and it was basically to the point where I started using YouTube for everything because I bought my first home and just didn't know really how to do a bunch of projects. Even though I was in construction, I didn't know how to fully remodel an entire house. So I started using YouTube for everything. Lo and behold, I could not find a video anywhere on a specific subject. And it wasn't the first video I did, but it was the one that kind of got the ball rolling.
That's so funny. I mean, the last few times my car light went out or whatever, I have to YouTube how to replace it. And that's funny. And you were like, okay, this one doesn't exist. Well, now it does, because I'll figure it out and make it myself.
Yep. So of course, one video led to another, and now back in 2019 in October, I quit my job and I'm now doing YouTube and content creation full time. So it's pretty remarkable.
That's incredible. That's awesome. Well, and I mean, obviously I was on your YouTube the past couple of days just kind of checking out the different types of projects, but you also have like a lot of merch. And as a comedian, we sell merch after shows. That's like a normal thing that we do, and that's where it sells the best. But you can't like travel with all these things, and I don't know why I was so jealous that you have a throw pillow. Like that's what you said. It says "sexy beast" on it, and I'm like, oh man, I wish I could sell throw pillows with a joke on them.
You totally can. You totally can. Just put dumb pitches right on there.
Yeah, I'll just lay on it in the back of the back of the club. Can you explain the "sexy beast" thing for people that don't know?
So it's actually just my tagline that randomly happened in the very first video. At the very end of the project, I just said, man, that sure does look like a sexy beast, just kind of off the top of my head, because I was watching a podcast at the time and they referenced a movie called Sexy Beast. And I think it was actually kind of a disturbing movie in all honesty, but that saying was just stuck in my head at that point. And so I just blurted it out at the end of my very first video. And I just thought that was kind of fun. That's cool. I like that.
If you're going to get a catchphrase, the first video, yeah, that's nice.
I know. Every single video after that has the line "sexy beast" in it.
That's hilarious. I recently turned 31, and so I kind of joked about, like, you know, the things I used to get excited about are much different now. You know, I built a shed the other day and I was like, I feel so good about myself. And so the idea of calling like a project that you made a sexy beast is hilarious to me, and I think it really spoke to me. So that's great.
Yeah, apparently so.
Yeah, you can get
I love it.
I'm going to have to get a pillow.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you ready to embarrass yourself? No. To talk about your bad ideas. So you sent me something that you had thought of, which I think is funny because I'm sure when people watch your videos, they're like, oh, this is, wow, I'm so impressed. You know, can I do this kind of thing? I do think it's thorough enough to do it. But you don't think of like, because obviously you're trying to keep people, you know, able to watch it and not just actually the 12 hours of doing something or whatever. And so you're like, oh, well, if you skipped over a little bit, was that as easy as it looked, or what? How did it go? So I thought it was almost perfect that you sent me this first one that you had for your idea.
Yeah. So specifically with any of my projects, I always want to put my audience first. You know, it's one of those things where I take great pride in the videos I produce, and I do a very detailed oriented videos just talking about every step along the way to try and help others learn how to build. I'm not trying to show people, hey, this is a fun process, watch the process. I want to actually teach others. And lo and behold, the first video that came to mind, the first product that came to mind was how to tile a rounded surface. And this was a large scale project that was basically just proposed to me from a company that actually wanted to have a very beautiful, amazing, huge wood burning oven at their location. And at the end of the story, I'll tell you where this actually is, because it is at a fun location that anyone can actually go to.
And you can go see
but
it.
But the problem is that me being me, especially this was early on with me quitting my job, I was just a yes man. Just yes, 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 I'll do it. I don't know where my next paycheck is. I'll do that. Sure, I'll do that. And this project was proposed to me, and I was like, sure, I'll do that. That was fun.
Did you think about it at all, or you were just like, yeah, I could put... Because in my mind, you say, okay, I'm going to tile a round surface. And in my mind, I'm like, I don't know a lot about construction, but I'm pretty sure tiles are flat and round things are not. That seems difficult.
So when you're in construction, as long as I have been, especially in like that DIY realm, the beauty and probably the best thing about it is that you're a problem solver. You can solve any problem, and no matter what the project is, even if I haven't taken it on, half the project I do on my channel, I've never taken on before until I actually did it. And it just gives you that confidence in the reliability of your knowledge that you have learned in the past. Be like, to say, I can do this. So that was my first mistake.
So yeah, the blind confidence is...
Blind confidence, step number one. So I decided to take on this project. It's a large project. I figured out the tile I need. You have to use very small tile. The max is a 1 inch by 1 inch, which is what we used to tile a rounded surface. And I told my wife at the time who also at the time was, when the project was going on, it was 8.5 months down the road of her being pregnant.
Oh no.
So
she's like all the way pregnant. Yeah, that's like
she's all the way pregnant, and this project was pushed back, of course. So it was supposed to happen months earlier. It didn't, but I was already committed to it. So I was like, well, honey, don't have the baby because I'm going to be tiling this project, but just call me if your water breaks.
Don't have the baby.
So
Let me practice on your stomach. I'll tile your stomach. And then
Another caveat to this was the fact that this was in Bellingham, and I live in Shoreline, Seattle area. So that is not a close project. That is a 2.5 hour drive all the way up to Bellingham and all the way back. And I was originally going to plan on just renting a hotel, but because it was so close to my wife's, due date, I said to myself, I cannot just, sleep up here and then come back when I need to. I need to be back at night just in case her water breaks at night. Right. So I have to drive 2.5 hours up, 2.5 hours back every single day. The first day I get there, I am presented this large-scale oven that I have never seen before. And normally with an oven that I have to tile, it is a surface that is already ready for tile, which is what I was told. Oh. Well, I get there, and instead of a nice, cohesive, solid surface on this oven, there is a fiberglass mesh around it that's more for heat resistance, and there's also a chicken wire mesh around the entire surface.
Yeah, that's not...
Well, I was not prepared for that. My mistake, because I should have asked more questions, of course.
That's number 2, confidence and then not asking questions.
Yeah. I get up there. We realize that we have a lot more work to do because at that point I thought it was going to be a 2 to 3 day max project. Well, the first day was literally just trying to figure out how we were going to create this realm into a solid surface so I can actually tile too. Used mortar, quick setting mortar, and actually just mortised the entire surface. And we're talking a surface that's 6 feet in diameter. So we're talking close to 80 square feet of tile. Even though it doesn't look like 80 square feet, it is a large surface you have to tile upon. Finally got to the point where we actually had a round surface, let it set overnight. That was the first day. Driving up to Bellingham the next morning from my house, get there, start the tiling process, get one row around, and half the day is gone. And I realized, oh crap, I have a lot more work on my hands. We tiled the first row, tiled the second row, that day is gone. So going to the third day, trip down to Seattle, back, and proceed to finishing the tile finally after day 3. Of course, my wife has given me a lot of crap and grief at this point because you were supposed to be done by day 3. Right. And of course, she's worried because she's about to give birth. Right. Obviously, very reasonable.
It seems stressful. I haven't done it, but it seems stressful. Yeah.
At that point, day 4 comes around. I'm fine to the point where I can actually grout the entire surface. I grout it. It takes forever. It's hard because it's an exterior project, so I have to use a grout that is more of an epoxy-based grout, which is harder to use because of the fact that it dries extremely quickly. Okay. As in you have about 30 minutes to work with it, and if you're not done within 30 minutes, you better start scraping away the excess grout on your surface because it'll be on there forever.
This sounds like 6 different projects, basically. It's like you could have done, one is mortar, one is grouting, one is tile. And you're having to cut the tile like it can't just be flat, right? It's got to be like you've changed some of the tiles on each one, like.
The best way that we did it was we actually took it was a mosaic tile, so they were 1 foot by 1 foot sections, and you have to cut them at a specific angle. So you have to cut the specific section out, and those pieces have to fit in perfectly together. Now, the closer you get to the top, the smaller the window is, and the smaller the pieces. So you might have at the very bottom when you're cutting a 1 foot by 3, or excuse me, a 12-inch by 3 foot, a 12-inch by 3-inch piece.
Okay.
But then at the top you have literally a 1-inch by quarter-inch piece at the very top.
Right.
So it just gets smaller and smaller as you go up. Day 4 comes around. I finally get the entire thing grouted. It's done. It's beautiful. I finally get home at 10:30 at night on a Thursday. And I'm like, oh, I feel better. I got it completed. I don't have to worry about the next project. I can just relax and just do some video editing tomorrow. And guess what? It'll all be good because I'm home. I'm done with the project. Well, the next day rolls around. I wake up feeling good, feeling blessed. My wife comes in at 9:30 in the morning and says, I think my water just broke.
I was like, this is going to happen. Like, this has to. Okay, so you just finally finished this project. You're home. And she's like, nope, get up.
Of course. And lo and behold, in all honesty, looking back, I'm extremely grateful for the fact that it actually happened then versus when I was up there and not around.
That is true.
So
she
obviously,
was holding it
I
in,
think
like she just waited.
There was some divine interventions there. Her body was like, you can't have the baby yet because he's not around.
Right.
And the moment we were all able to relax, of course, that's when the water breaks, and that's when
Right.
Brent has to get everything in the car and ready to go to the hospital to have our beautiful baby girl.
Wow. I mean, that all seems pretty just like stressful, but you seem very calm kind of dealing with it, which is great. And very nice of your wife, I'm sure, to
She's a saint.
deal with a lot of these things, it seems like. Again, like even you telling the story of making this thing, you're like, and then we put these on, but that's like hours of doing the same thing over and over again. And it's something you hadn't done before, like, which is funny. And I'm thinking that's crazy, but I guess I had never done stand up before. And I was like, yeah, I'll drive 2 hours to do that in front of people I don't know, so it's like, you kind of just do it and hope that it goes well.
Exactly.
So I have two.
It's all about that pushing you into that uncomfortable position of, yes, doing something new, but also building on those life skills.
Right. It's a time management thing. And the most impressive part seems to be your wife being able to just wait to have a baby.
Oh, seriously. Hands down.
Okay, so you said it was somewhere we could see it. Where is this?
Yes. So
I mean, you can watch the video. I've watched the video, but you can actually go.
Yeah, I should just watch the video because that video. Well, okay. So now going back into the realm of YouTube, and the reason why, not only do I love creating content for others to learn how to build and create, but I also obviously make this a living for myself. So I do want people to enjoy the videos and watch the videos that I create.
Yeah.
Well, also something that I didn't take into account is the fact that not a lot of people are trying to tile around its surface.
Oh, right.
So
Okay.
that video is still one of the worst performing videos I have done on my entire channel.
Go and watch it, you guys. That's okay. So it's like this incredible project you had to figure out. It took longer than you're supposed to, and then your wife holds in a baby until you're done with it, and everyone's like, not interesting, I'm not gonna watch it.
Literally, it has I think at this point, less than 2,000 views on my channel, which is one of the worst performing videos on my entire channel.
That is incredible. And it's funny because we were talking about that last time here. I have like a little production team, they're wonderful, of just like, you have this idea and then you make it and you're like, I feel really good about this. People are going to love it. And everyone's like, whatever. And then you do something that's silly or just randomly throw it up and it's like 80,000 views. You're like, okay, well.
Trust me, that is exactly what has occurred on my channel multiple times. My number one video on my entire platform is how to seal or how to apply driveway sealant, or how to seal a driveway. And it literally took me one day to do. It was in the front of my driveway. It was super quick, easy. And I was not even gonna do a video on this because I was like, it's so simple. Like, why do I even need to do this? Mm-hmm. Well, lo and behold, that video now has 2.5 million views. So there you go.
Which is just like, so this, like, silly idea. I'm gonna seal my driveway anyways. I might as well. Okay, I'll do a little video, and then that's huge. And then this whole project that is like so much more.
So much more.
And so much more in your life, and everyone's like, I didn't even know. I think personally, sealing my driveway might come up before tiling an entire rounded wood stove, but I don't know. You never know what's going to happen. So maybe
there might be a very intriguing, very, very astute point that you have in there. Yes.
Well, I think for your wife's sake, just to honor her, people should go and watch the stove one anyways, the tiling one.
I think so, just to give it a chance, as well as the fact that, let's go back to the point where it is. So luckily, it is in a beautiful location. If you're from Seattle or you're going to be planning on heading to Seattle, it's literally one of my top things to do in downtown Seattle is to go to the Chihuly Garden and Glass Museum.
Oh, nice.
And I absolutely love that place. One of the most amazing works of art you will ever see, in my personal opinion. And luckily, my beautiful, ornate, beautiful oven is showcased right in the center of their outdoor area. So
nice.
That was nice.
Wow. I mean, I've been there, so that's cool. Now I'm like, I'm gonna take a picture with it and tag you. It'll work out.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna tag.
Who did this amazing piece of art?
I'm gonna put the whole story about your wife holding a baby. That's
you should
awesome.
just go to the Chihuly Garden Glass Museum, and then just the best thing about it is that you saw the oven. You're like, the best thing about
the glass, whatever. But this oven, man, this is great.
This oven, check this oven out.
This is some real art. Oh man, yeah. I went to Seattle U, and we had like all the Chihuly glass stuff in like each building, and I looked at that more than I did my homework probably. That's incredible too, that this whole story where you're like, I don't even know how to do this. I'm confident though. I'll do it anyways. It ends up being more, and now we have this, like, you can go and see it. That's awesome.
Yep.
I think that's great.
I know. It's one of those projects that, you know what, it's a great story, as you can see, and it is an amazing one that I will never forget. But it was definitely one of the most stressful times of my life, just because of trying to get all this taken care of, all this work done right before you have a baby, and that just weighing on you in the back of your mind of, is my wife going to give birth today while I'm working 3 hours away?
Well, and then I feel like each like step in the story, like it adds something else too. Like you get there having this idea of what it's going to be like, and that's not what it is. So then you have to do this whole other part to it, and then that adds a whole day. And so it's just that, like, the little baby on your shoulder is just like continuing to get louder because you're like, oh no, it's another day. I don't know what's going to happen.
Exactly. But that's how life is sometimes, and you know what, you just have to roll with the punches, and lo and behold, you have an amazing condensed 16-minute video that you can watch and know that there was a lot of heartache that was built into that. But guess what, the end all be all product is amazing, and my beautiful 6-month-old baby girl now is extremely adorable.
Perfect. Well, and as she gets older, then you can start to show her baby videos, and you can start with that one. It'll be the oven. You were in the oven still. I was making this oven. It's it's symbolic. And then you're born.
This is when you almost gave Daddy a heart attack.
That's okay. That's amazing. I like the idea of saying yes to something that you've never done before and just confidently. And so we always ask at the end if people like to comment what the worst idea or what they, if this was, I mean, obviously it ends up being a good idea because you can go and see it. It's done. It's beautiful. You figured out how to do it. But I want to know if if your wife is pregnant and somebody comes to you with this idea that you've never done before, do you do it? You know, if that happened to you again, Brent, would you be like, yeah, I've done it before. I'll figure it out. She'll wait. She knows how.
I would, the only thing that I would change is making sure that the project is closer by.
Okay.
And
That's the thing. Yeah.
that was the key aspect to this entire project. Us Seattleites, we know how bad traffic is, and we know how bad that commute time is. And no, traffic was not bad this direction, but being stuck in a car for 2.5 hours. So in all honesty, 5 hours total, times that by 4. So you have 20 hours of time in the car. That was the major thing that I would change if I was presented this project again, or presented a project like
this again. The hidden theory behind this show is that it takes bad ideas to end up having good ideas. And we've already seen in some episodes that some seemingly bad or silly ideas end up being a good idea. And so you still have this, like, you figured it out. It ended up being, and now you know how to tile a round surface, which,
Yep.
you know.
Exactly.
You
And now anyone can learn how to tile a rounded surface.
Yes, exactly. From this video, it will be, I'll link the video for sure.
Right.
Well, yeah, okay, so you can obviously check out the channel, bring your own tools. Where else can people find you, or what should they be following?
You know, the
other
amazing
specific
thing
videos?
about this platform and the fact that when COVID hit, I personally wanted to help others out there in other ways. And so I started doing these quick tip tutorials on YouTube. And it was just very small, short-knit tips that anyone could use. Of course, my audience hated those videos, and I was literally losing subscribership while posting these videos.
Oh, no,
And so I was like, okay, well, noted, thank you, audience, because everyone loves my long form videos on YouTube, but hates my short form. Well, my friend told me, you should just start up a TikTok channel. Why don't you start up a TikTok and see what happens? Well, I started up a TikTok channel back in June, and now I am already surpassed my subscribership on YouTube via TikTok.
Wow.
So pretty amazing. Of course,
you got to know the platform.
Fun, short form, you know, obviously no longer the 1 minute long TikTok videos that are more DIY centric, quick, fun tips that help anyone and everyone.
That's awesome. And what's the handle on that? Is that the same?
So everything on my handle is BYO Tools. So
BYOTOOLS. Perfect. It's right there on the screen. Great. That's the thing. You have an idea, you try it, and then you learn, I suppose.
Yep.
So
you got to know your audience for sure.
Awesome. Well, yeah. Follow on Instagram, on TikTok. Subscribe to his YouTube channel for sure. Get your Sexy Beast pillow. And then when I start making my pillows, you can have one on each side of your couch. It'll be perfect.
Yes, please.
Well, this was great. What a great story. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing with us. Again, check out Hollingsworth Hemp Company. They're fantastic. Go subscribe right now to Brent's channel, BYO Tools, and subscribe right here to my channel, and keep watching Dumb Pitches.
You're weird.
Yes.